Okay, I think we are live. Hello, world. Oh, you can't see my shirt. Try that again. Hello, world. Welcome to another episode of Mr. FLIXTER Show. I'm your host, of course, Mr. FLIXTER. In honor of the Winter Olympics, I'm reviewing the classic Disney sports movie, Cool Runnings. So, grab your lucky egg, give it a kiss, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on down. It's bobsled time. Roll the intro, shall we? Live from Niagara Falls, it's Mr. FLIXTER Show on Saturday night. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on my video.
He said he was on the verge of a discovery so terrific that he doubted his own sanity. There was a strange look in his eyes, a mystery.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hello, world. I'm Chris Meitzman, aka Mr. FLIXTER. Here to talk motion pictures.
Mr. FLIXTER.
Oh, where'd it go? Oh, here I am. I'm back. Okay, so before we get to the main event, I got a couple birthdays, and sadly, there's a death I have to report too. And after that, I'll do the weekend box office update. So let's start with the birthdays, shall we? Still got your lucky egg? Still not broken? Good. Let's share the screen, shall we? I'm very excited about tonight's episode. But before we get to that, let's get down to business. Okay, sharing the screen. So, the first birthday I want to talk about is LeVar Burton. Let's get his picture up, shall we? Go away, not sponsored. Here he is. He was born February 16th, 1957, in Landstuhl, Germany. Sorry if I butchered that. Never would imagine he was born in Germany. That's cool. He just turned 69. Happy birthday, LeVar Burton. So obviously, he's probably most well known for like Star Trek or Reading Rainbow. Let's go over his career. See what else we're missing. Oh yeah, there it is. Sure enough. That's funny. Okay, let's see. We'll just stick to acting credits. Keep it simple. He still has 92 acting credits. Wow. Looks like his most recent show was something called Strip Law from this year. Last year, he was in Weather Hunters, another TV show. He was in 2 episodes. He was also in The Legend of Vox Machina in 2024 for 2 episodes. I heard that was a good show. And of course, he's made appearances on Futurama. That's a more recent appearance, 2024. Let's see what else is here. I've heard Blind Spotting is a good show from 2023. He was in 2 episodes. Oh, he's also in the new Star Trek Picard. I didn't know that. From 2023, he's in 5 episodes. That's cool that he came back to his role like that. What else is here? He was in the new Nancy Drew show. I heard that was pretty good. I haven't seen it myself, though. 2021 for that one. He's in an episode of NCIS New Orleans in 2019. That's cool. Oh, he was also in Transformers Rescue Bots. I didn't know that. As Doc. That's cool. 2011 to 2016 for 66 episodes. Wow. Looks like he was in the Roots remake. Interesting. For 1 episode in 2016. Of course, he's made numerous appearances on Big Bang Theory. That's one of my favorite shows from 2011 to 2014. Oh, he's only in 3. I thought he was in more. That's funny. Let's see. What else is there? He was in Community for 2 episodes from 2011 to 2014. Adventure Time. I didn't know he was in an episode of that in 2013. What else is here?
Family Guy.
Yes. Family Guy. That's a video game, but yeah, he was on the show too. The game is 2014. Let's see what the show was. I'll come across that eventually. What else is here? He was in Superman/Batman Public Enemies. Oh, he was Black Lightning. Okay, in 2009. That's cool. There's Family Guy, the show. Okay, it just says 2 episodes between 2005 and 2009, but that's cool. He played himself, basically. Let's see. What else is here? He was in Star Trek Nemesis in 2002. That looks like the last Star Trek movie he was in. Of course, there's Becker. He was in an episode of that. That was a funny show. Oh, he was in Ali. I forgot he was in that movie. He played Martin Luther King Jr. Interesting. 2001. That's cool. I'll have to watch that again. He's in the infamous Star Trek Insurrection. 1998. Oh, he appeared in Voyager for an episode in 98. Okay, that's cool. He was in Pinky and the Brain for an episode in 1997. I didn't even realize. That's awesome. He was in Star Trek First Contact. I think that was the movie when they crossed over the first Star Trek series with the Next Generation series, like the old with the new. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. He was in Gargoyles for an episode in 96. That's cool. That's one of my favorite cartoons. Let's see. He was in Star Trek Generations, 1994. There's the show, Star Trek The Next Generation. Oh, Generations might be the one I was thinking of instead, actually. I have to correct myself. But yeah, that's the original Star Trek Generation TV show. He was in 176 episodes between 1987 and 1994. And he was in the Batman animated series for an episode in 93. Speaking of Star Trek, that's funny, but I'm not sponsored. Let's see. He was in a TV movie of The Roots, The Gift, in 1988. I think that might be the original Roots. Oh yeah, he played Kutra Kente, so that's got to be it. I thought that came out in the 90s, though, but I could be wrong. He was in an episode of Murder, She Wrote in 87. Let's see, what else is here? Oh, he was in The Love Boat in an episode in 84, and Fantasy Island, one episode in 83. Wow. What else is here? What stands out? Oh, wait. Roots. Okay. This must be the original. 77 for 2 episodes. I thought that was a TV movie, but it must have just aired in 2 parts. Oh, okay. It looks like that was his first TV movie. His first TV show was something called Rebop. He was a host. I guess that was a game show. And his first movie was Looking for Mr. Goodbar, 1977. So there's a little bit of the career of LeVar Burton. Happy birthday to you, sir. Let's get that picture up one more time. There he is. Okay, so the next birthday I want to talk about is Cindy Crawford. Go ahead, not spotted. Picture. There she is. Okay, she was born on February 20th, 1966, in DeKalb, Illinois. She just turned 60. Happy birthday, Cindy Crawford. She's more well known for her model work, obviously, but she has appeared in movies and television as well. Go away, not sponsored. Okay. So let's take a look. All right, she has 26 acting credits. Awesome. That's actually a lot more than I thought. Oh, it looks like she's still acting. She was in Arthur Elgort, Models and Muses. That must be a documentary. She played herself. But she was in BoJack Horseman, the show. She was in one episode in 2019. That's cool. And then, oh, some of these are music videos. Okay. She was in the show Cougar Town in one episode. She normally just plays herself. Let's see. She was in Wizards of Waverly Place in 2009 for one episode, and the show According to Jim in 2002 for an episode. Let's see, what else is here? Okay, so her first movie was something called 54, 1998. And then there's the Simeon Line in 2000, and then We Married Margot 2000. I haven't heard of these. I don't know what these are, but hey, that's cool. It says see all. What does that mean? Oh, there's more. Oh, that's right. She was in an episode of Third Rock from the Sun in 1998. 2 episodes. That's right. She was in the season finale and the season premiere of the 2 seasons. She was in Frasier. I thought I was missing stuff. That didn't sound right. Here we go. We got Frasier. She was in an episode of that. I remember that. She's been on SNL in 94 for an episode. Okay, so it looks like her first movie was The Secret of My Success in 1987. I have to correct myself. Cool. Let's go back to her picture. Here we go. Happy birthday, Cindy Crawford. There she is. Right, I just want to check the comments before I do the final birthday. No comments. That's cool. Moving on. All right. The final birthday I want to talk about is Kim Coates. Here he is. He was born February 21st, 1958, in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. He just turned 68. Happy birthday, Kim Coates. All right, so let's look at his career, shall we? Scrolling down. Okay. He's got 162 acting credits. Wow. All right, let's do it. His most recent movie was Solo Mio 2026. I saw this recently. Oopsie, didn't mean to click that. Sorry. Going back. Okay. Where were we? Solo Mio. Oh, not sponsored. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say too much about it because I do want to do an episode about it, but I will say I liked it. I was very pleasantly surprised, and he's good in it. He's very good in it. He's very funny. Okay, he's also in the show Walking Dead: Dead City. I cannot keep up with these Walking Dead spin-off shows, but good for him. This actually makes me want to watch it because I am a big fan of Kim Coates. So he's in 5 episodes of that from last year, 2025. Keep forgetting this 2026. But anyways, he's in a lot more things. So let's get to it. Let's see what stands out. Oh, he's in the Mayan spin-off from an episode in 2022. That, of course, is a spin-off of Sons of Anarchy, and I'll get to that when I reach that point. Oh, he was in an episode of the Corner Gas animated show. That's cool, in 2021. But what else is there? He was in the Van Helsing show from 2021 for 3 episodes. He was in the awful Fantasy Island horror remake. I actually forgot he was in that in 2020. I don't know why they decided to make Fantasy Island a horror movie, but they did. It was really bad. Anyways, he's in the show Bad Blood. I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things. He's in 14 episodes from 2017 to 2018. Must have only got 1 season. He was in Ghost Wars. I did see that show. That was a cool show. 13 episodes.
Not for the weak-hearted.
It's not for the weak-hearted, though. No. From 2017 to 2018.
If you got a weak stomach, don't watch.
Yeah, if you got a weak stomach, don't watch. He was in Goon, The Last of the Enforcers. That's a hockey comedy, 2017. What else? It's actually a sequel. I'll get to the original. Let's see, what else is there? It's a Sons of Anarchy video game. There it is, Sons of Anarchy TV show from 2008 to 2014. He was in 92 episodes. Of course, he played Tig.
Together.
Let's see, what else is there? There's the original Goon, 2011. I didn't realize that came out that long ago. Then he was in the show Entourage for 2 episodes in 2008 to 2011. He's in my favorite Resident Evil movie, Afterlife. In 2010, he plays Benny. He's like a movie producer. He is hilarious in that role. If you're going to watch one Resident Evil movie, it's Afterlife. Let's see, what else is there? I haven't heard. Oh, Prison Break. I forgot he was in Prison Break for 6 episodes, 2006, 2009. I didn't even watch that whole series, just part of it. Oh, he was in 6 episodes of CSI Miami. I forgot about that. That's my favorite CSI. 2008 to 2009. 6 episodes. Huh. Okay, what else is there? He was in Cold Case for an episode in 2008. My mom used to watch that show. In Smallville, I watched that in 2007 for 3 episodes. I forgot he was in Smallville, but I haven't really seen it since it aired. Let's see, what else is here? He was in the Dresden Files in 2007 for an episode. That's cool. What else? Well, that's right. He was in the first Silent Hill movie. He was a cop in 2006. Let's see, what else is here? He was in CSI New York for 1 episode in 2005. Assault on Precinct 13 is a good movie. 2005. Like, very good action-packed movie. He was in the original CSI as well.
He was in the island.
Yeah. What was I saying? Sorry, original CSI. That's right. 2004. For what episode? And then what else is there? Oh, I think I missed one. Oh, there it is. The Island. Yeah. 2005. I think it was a small role, but I do remember him being in that. I haven't seen this version of Hercules, the miniseries for 2 episodes of 2005, but The Island came out in 2005 too. I like that one. That was a good one. Highly underrated. Not enough people talk about that one. What else is here? He was in an episode of The Outer Limits. 2 episodes, actually. From 1995 to 2002. And he's in Black Hawk Down. That's a great war movie from 2001. And he's also in Pearl Harbor. How about that? Back-to-back war movies. I didn't really like Pearl Harbor, though. But he's good in it. 2001. Let's see, what else? He was in Battlefield Earth in 2000. I forgot he was in that. That's probably the best. So bad it's good movies. You're gonna have a good time watching that movie. It's not a good movie by any stretch of the word at all, but you'll have a good time watching it. Oh my god, I haven't thought about that movie in years. Holy crap. Okay, what else? Total blast for the past there. Oh, he was in the show Kung Fu, The Legend Continues from 93 to 96 for 2 episodes. Wow. I used to watch that. He was in the movie Carpool, 1996. That was a Tom Arnold movie, I believe. I don't know why I remember that movie, but I do. Don't ask. He was in Waterworld. I forgot that he was in that. Wow, 95. That's another great movie that's underrated. It bombed when it came out, too. And he was in Bad Boys, the original one. That's cool. 95. He's uncredited, so it's just his character is just a white carjacker. He doesn't even have a name. That's funny. He was in the RoboCop show. I didn't know there was a show. 94 for what episode? That's cool. He's in The Client. Okay. 94. Good drama. But what else is here? He was in Dead Before Dawn, 93. What else stands out? He was in The Last Boy Scout, 91. Wow, that's cool. Let's see. He was in... What else was he in? Lost my mouse, sorry. Okay. What else stands out? Oh, he was in the War of the Worlds TV show in 1998 for an episode. Cool. He was in Last Man Standing in 87. He was in the Miami Vice TV show for an episode in 87. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Looks like his first movie was The Boy in Blue in 1986. Cool. Let's get his picture back up here. If I miss anything in the comments, please let me know. Yes. Here's his picture. Happy birthday, Kim Coates. Keep on entertaining us. Okay, so that about wraps up the birthdays. Let's see, comments? No comments? Oh, we got one from Sabrina. Hold on. I'm back. Did your lucky 8 broken? No? Good. Keep it safe. Sabrina says, happy birthday to my favorite actor, Kim Coates. Oh, that's nice. Thank you for commenting. And now, sadly, I have a death to report. So I'll share the screen. This just happened, so I gotta talk about it. Focus up in the corner first. Okay. And here we go. So we recently lost the very talented actor, Robert Duvall. Here's his picture. Go away. Not sponsored. You're ruining the moment. Here we go. Here's his picture. Rest in peace to the late, great Robert Duvall. He was born January 5th, 1931, in San Diego, California. He died February 15th, 2026, in Middlebury, Virginia, at the age of 95 years old. I don't think a cause of death has even been released yet. Like, this just happened not that long ago. He was 95 years old. Can we just get a moment of silence for Robert Duvall, please? Thank you. Rest in peace, Robert Duvall. You will be missed. He's got a very legendary career, so let's get to it. I don't even know where to begin as far as favorites goes. I know he's in one of my all-time favorite movies, Gone in 60 Seconds, and of course he's in The Godfather, but we'll get to those. He's in, wow, he's got 145 acting credits. Holy crap. And his last movie was in 2022. It was called Pale Blue Eye. Okay, I'm going to have to watch that because I have no idea what that is. Cool. Put that on the list. And then let's see, what else was he in that stands out? He was in Wild Horses. I heard great things about that in 2015. He was in Jack Reacher. That's the first movie with Tom Cruise, 2012. What else stands out? He was in Crazy Heart. That was a good movie, 2009. The Road, 2009, also good. Oh, that's the game. We'll get to the Godfather stuff. Hold on. We're not there yet. He was in Four Christmases. I didn't like that movie, but he's good in it. That was 2008. He's in We Own the Night. That's a good movie, 2007. Let's see, what else is here? He's in Thank You for Smoking. That movie's hilarious. That's also got Aaron Eckhart, 2005. Kicking and Screaming is hilarious. That's a great Father's Day movie because it's all about fatherhood. He plays Will Ferrell's father in that one in 2005. But that's a really good one. What else is here? He was in Assassination Tango, 2002. He was in the first John. Oh, wait, I think there's only one. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking The Equalizer. He was in John Q. Totally different movie. I know what that is now. That's the guy that holds up the hospital, I think. 2002. He was in The Sixth Day with Schwarzenegger. 2000. There it is. Gone in 60 Seconds. Otto. 2000. Oh, he was also in A Civil Action with John Travolta in 98. He was in Deep Impact. I forgot he was in that one. Also 98. He hosted SNL in 98. 98 was a good year for him. He's also in something called The Gingerbread Man in 98. Flame Blade. That's a good one. 96. Phenomenon. In 1996. That's also got John Travolta. He was in Something to Talk About in 1995. We're in the 90s now. He's in something called Wrestling with Ernest Hemingway. I don't know what that is, but the title caught my eye. 1993. Let's see, what else? Falling Down, 1993. He was in Newsies. I didn't know that. 1992. Some of these I haven't seen in a long time. That's right. He was in Days of Thunder, 1990. Let's see, what else is here? What else stands out? Oh, he was in the Terry Fox Story in 1983. That's cool. If you don't know who Terry Fox is, he's a very famous Canadian. Google it. It's not the same one. He is in Apocalypse Now, of course, 1979. He actually delivers that famous line, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning." And that's right, he's in the 70s version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's probably the best version of that movie. It's so good. Let's see, he was in Network in 1976. We're in the 70s now. Oh, wait, Godfather 2. Did I miss part 3? I must have. Hold on, we're going back. Is he not in The Godfather 3? I don't remember. I haven't seen part 3 in a long time. I don't see it here. Definitely didn't come out after 2000. He might not be in Godfather 3. I honestly don't remember. I haven't seen that movie in so long. It's not the best Godfather movie. Anyways, we'll go back to where we were. There we go. Godfather 2 came out in 1974. What else stands out? The original Godfather was 72. Oh, he was in THX 1138. I didn't know that. 1971. That was George Lucas's first movie. Oh, he was the voice of THX. That's cool. Awesome. He was in MASH. That must be the movie. 1970. He was in the FBI in 1965 to 1969, 5 episodes. He was in the original True Grit in 1969. The Mod Squad was a good show. He was in 1 episode in 1969. We're in the 60s now. Bullet, probably one of the greatest car chases of all time, is in that movie. 1968. Let's see, what else? There's so much. Let's keep going. He was in Wild Wild West for an episode. That's the show. The original show, not the Will Smith movie. 1967 for 1 episode. What else is here? Felony Squad in 1966 for 1 episode. For some reason, that sounds familiar to me. What else is here? He was in the original Fugitive TV show. That's cool. 1963 to 65 for 3 episodes. A lot of people don't know that 90s movie was based off this show. It was also in The Outer Limits for 3 episodes in 1964. That's cool. What else stands out? The Twilight Zone in 1963 for 1 episode. Awesome. The Untouchables TV show from 63. 1 episode.
1965.
See, I think I missed one. Yeah, there it is. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. That was a good show. 1 episode from 1965. Thank you. And again, if I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Oh, he was in To Kill a Mockingbird in 1962. That's right. He was Boo Radley. Awesome. That's a good movie. That's a classic right there. What else is here? Okay, so his first TV show was the Robert Heritage Theater for 1 episode. Okay. Let's see. Great Ghost Tales was another TV show. That sounds like a more traditional TV show. 1961, 1 episode. Well, what was his first movie, though? I wonder. Oh, that's cool. I missed that. He was in Alfred Hitchcock Presents for 1 episode, 1962. Oh, okay. So it looks like To Kill a Mockingbird was his first movie. Interesting. Again, that was 1962. So there's a brief history of the career of Robert Duvall. Let's just go right to the top. There we go. Let's get his picture up one more time. Rest in peace, Robert Duvall. You will be missed. Okay, let's get back to me. Here we go. I'm back. Still got your lucky egg? Keep it safe. All right, so now let's talk about the weekend box office update. Share the screen. Put myself in the corner and let's get to it. Okay, so this is for the week of February 13th to the 15th, Valentine's Day weekend. Last week I reviewed Hard Eyes on my channel, so if you're interested, you should check it out. Looks like the #1 movie last weekend, no surprise probably to anybody, was Wuthering Heights. And it made $32.8 million. So that's pretty good for an opening weekend. And also, GOAT came out last week. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I thought they came out a couple weeks ago, but okay, sure. Came out last week. It made $27.2 million. And then #3, we have Crime 101. I think that's the new Chris Hemsworth movie. That made $14.2 million. So right off the bat, we have 3 new movies that came out last week, and they all got the top 3. How about that? Send Help was #1 last week. It dropped 3 spots at #4. It got $8.8 million, but so far it's made $47.8 million after 3 weeks of being released. I still haven't seen that one. It looks good though. Definitely interested. At #5, we have Solo Mio dropping 3 spots. It was at #2 last week, but yeah. This one was pretty good. I kind of do want to do an episode about that. It made $6.3 million, and it made 16.9 so far. So good for them. It's been out for 2 weeks. I saw it Tuesday. I think my girlfriend and I went to go see it.
Yeah.
And don't let this fool you. Even though it's done by Angel Studios, they're just the distributor. They didn't make the movie. This is not a religious movie. It's very much a romantic comedy. And it takes place in Italy, so bonus. But I don't want to say too much. Moving on. #6. Oddly, it's in the same spot. It's just not dropping at all. Zootopia 2. It made another $3.8 million. It's made $419.4 million so far. Wow. And it's been out for 12 weeks. #7, we have another new release. This one sounds interesting. I very much want to see this one. It's Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. It made 3.6. Yeah, the title made me laugh. It made $3.6 million. But unfortunately, it's not getting advertised very well. Most people have never heard of it before. But it made a lot of waves in the film festival circuit last year. That's how I heard about it. At #8, not dropping at all, staying in the same spot, is Avatar: Fire and Ash. That has $3.5 million. It looks like a lot of these didn't even drop that much. Usually the drops are a lot more significant, so it's good to see that. Anyways, let's see. Avatar 3. It's made $396.2 million so far, and it's been out for 9 weeks. So wow, I don't think it's going to make $1 billion, but I guess it's not doing that bad. But if you factor in like advertising along with the budget, now I'm starting to wonder if it's even made its money back, because these movies are expensive. Okay, #9, dropping 6 spots. Wow, it was at #3 last week, is Iron Lung. It made $3.3 million. It actually dropped 45%. Ooh, ouch. Okay, so far, so much for not having big drops this week. I spoke too soon. It made $34 million, and it's been out for 3 weeks. This is interesting because he totally funded this on his own. Markiplier, if you're not familiar, is a YouTuber, and he's had like 32 million subscribers. Like, he was one of the, well, I don't know if he was one of the originals, but he's one of the biggest gaming YouTubers out there. And he wanted to make this video game movie. And he had so much faith in the game, and he loved it so much that he made the movie by himself, and he distributed it by himself. That's why it says Markiplier here. So this is a huge step as far as independent films go. Funding it and making the movie on your own, that's incredible. So no matter how the quality of the movie is, I give him a lot of credit for that. It's very inspirational for other YouTubers like me. At number 10, we have Dracula dropping 5 spots. It made $9.2 million this week, but it dropped 33.3%. Ooh. And it's made $8.9 million so far. It's been out for 2 weeks. This one I'm not sure about. I'll watch it, but it doesn't look too good in my opinion. And now, rounding out the honorable mentions, we have The Strangers, Chapter 3. It was number 7 last week. It made $2.2 million. It dropped 34.6%. And it's made $6.9 million so far. It's been out for 2 weeks. Number 12, we have another new contender, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. $1.2 million so far. Number 13, hanging on strong, is The Housemaid for $1.1 million, but it dropped 32.9%. And this one's made $125.3 million so far, so that's good. Because this one wouldn't be as expensive as Avatar 3 was, so I'm pretty sure they would have made their money back. But don't quote me on that. I don't know the exact numbers. It's purely speculation. It's just fun to speculate. It's been up for 9 weeks. 14 is something called Cold Storage. I don't know what this is. It's $936,000 though. So over 1,000 theaters, so that's good. This must be an independent movie. Okay, and then 15, for some reason Melania is still on the chart. Who's watching this movie? Like seriously. 893,000 this week. It dropped 62%. Ouch. And it's made 15.5 million. Really? If you have seen the Melania movie, please comment below. I'm not watching it. Don't. Okay, so that wraps up the weekend box office update, the domestic version. So let's look at the international box office real quick. Oh wait, I clicked the wrong one. Worldwide is what I want. I do that every time. Okay, so let's see what's making the most money so far. So it looks like, wow, Wuthering Heights climbed to the top of the charts this week with its $125.8 million worldwide. Wow, that's awesome. I didn't think it would do that well. Number 2 is Send Help with 77.1 million so far. Number 3, Goat, climbing the charts quickly at $61.2 million. Number 4 is 28 years later, The Bone Temple. I still have to see this one. It's $57.6 million. And number 5 is Mercy with $53.4 million, not far behind number 4. Number 6, we have Iron Lung. Go Markiplier, 43.7. Number 7, Return to Silent Hill. I saw this one recently. Unfortunately, it's not very good, but I might do an episode about it, so I don't want to say too much. It made $42.6 million. Number 8 is Greenland 2 Migration, $41.4 million. Number 9, Primate, $40.9 million. And number 10 is the new Jason Statham movie, Shelter, $35.7 million. And then, of course, rounding out the bottom 15, the honorable mentions are Crime 101, $31.6 million. Stray Kids, The Dominate Experience, sure, $22.8 million. Number 13, okay, I'm going to try to pronounce this. Marsupilami? No. Marsupilami? Okay, sorry if I butchered that. I'll stop. I'm done. I got 13th. $20.6 million. Number 14 is Solo Mio. Awesome. $19.9 million. I'm hoping this movie makes more money, though, because it is really good, without saying too much, but I will give it a positive review. And number 15 is extra worse. I have no idea what that is. And Melania is 16. Are you kidding me? Screw that. And I know I'm not supposed to be biased, but screw that. Okay. So this wraps up the weekend box office update. Here I am. Hope you still got your lucky egg. Don't break it. And now let's get to the main event, shall we? Okay. Okay. Cool Runnings came out in 1993.
You keep in with the current Winter Olympics.
So in case you weren't aware, the Winter Olympics are happening right now in Milan, Italy. And I don't know about you, but I love the Olympics. I watch them every year they're out. And that's every 2 years because they have winter and then 2 years later they have the summer. So this year just happens to be the Winter Olympics. And I was trying to think, what would be a good movie to cover? And then it hit me. Why not Cool Runnings? I haven't done them on my channel before. And this is let's see if I can do the math. Well, it's over 30 years old now, so that's cool. It's the 33rd anniversary of this year, 2026. No, 40. Hold on, I'll get my calculator out. I'm terrible at math. Let's see. 2026 minus 1993. Okay, yeah, I was right. The 33rd anniversary. So it's the perfect time to cover this movie. So here is
And
the
some of it's a
description.
tribute to Elite John Candy.
That's true too. My girlfriend just told me it's also a tribute to John Candy, and I do have something to say about that because this was a very important film for my childhood. But I'll get to that too. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, Cool Runnings. Let's go to the description on IMDb. Let's start with that. There we go. Put myself in the corner. Cool Runnings. I did not spell that right. Oh, wait. That's not it. Try that. Cool Runnings. Here we go. There it is. I used to have this on VHS, but it's currently streaming on Disney Plus. So you can watch it there. Go away, not sponsored. Here we go. Here's the poster. The poster really says it all. I love this poster. It's classic. You got all the characters there. You got John Candy behind them. Well, if you look closely, it looks like it's Photoshopped. I don't think they were together for this photo shoot. It doesn't even look like they're standing on the ice. But hey, still a great cover. You know, I don't think the sled was there when they were posing for it, judging by the way they're standing. But hey, that's, aside from the poor Photoshop, it's a cool poster. Okay, so here's the description according to IMDb. Go away. Not sponsored. One of Jamaican sprinters disqualified from the Olympic Games. He enlists the help of a dishonoured coach to start the first Jamaican Bobsled Team. Okay, so the movie stars Leon as Doris. That's him. We got Dougie Doug right there. He plays Senka. We got Raul D. Lewis as Junior, the one in the orange here. And then Malik Yoba plays Yulbrighter. Sorry if I butchered that. And of course, John Candy plays Irv Blitzer. Other characters not on the poster are Peter Outeridge and Raymond J. Barry, who play Joseph Gruel and Kurt Hempel, respectively. It was directed by John Turteltaub, and it was written by Lynn Seifert, Tommy Swerdlow, and Michael Goldberg. Again, sorry if I butchered any of those names. Okay, let's go check to see if there's any comments. Get rid of this. Oh, we do. Cal L. Daly. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Thank you for watching. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just starting to talk about Cool Runnings. Let's get into it, shall we? I'll be sure I share the screen first. Always a good thing. Okay. So, does this flick go for the gold? Well, let's talk about it. Okay. So first I'll talk about the cast, because I think the cast in this is exceptional. I think everybody in this movie is perfectly cast. And here's why. Leon, he's the leader of the group. And he does a good job of being persistently optimistic without being too cheesy. And that's a very fine line that's hard to cross. Because, well, he's got moments that show the vulnerability where it really humanizes him and it really grounds his character. So that's what mainly prevents him from going over the top. But still, that optimism, it's infectious. Dougie Doug really is the highlight, though, when it comes to the comedy. He is hilarious. He's Teresa's best friend since childhood and a self-proclaimed pushcart driver in all of Jamaica. But in between having some of the funniest lines in the movie being the comic relief, he's great at keeping Derice grounded by giving him that reality check about don't forget where you're coming from. And he's got some pretty good emotional moments too. By doing that, it grounds his performance. And that's why I think he's the highlight of the movie. What I like about Roddy Lewis as Junior, right there, him. He's basically, the character is basically a spoiled brat with daddy issues, but he's really good at being the straight man amongst the others because the other ones have these eccentric personalities. And he's the one that really, he grounds the whole group. And he's also good at showing his guilt too, because I'll get into it when I get to the script, but he's one of the reasons why these two couldn't get to the Olympics in the movie. And there's a reason I said in the movie. I'll get to that too. And while Lewis's acting isn't as strong as the others, he does hold his own when it comes to bouncing off of his teammates. He does have a good rapport. He fits in nicely with the others. He doesn't like stand out. He doesn't bring the movie down at all. He's just, as far as acting goes, not as good as the other ones, if that makes sense. But that's not knocking his acting. He's not a bad actor. And then what I like about Yulbrenner, well, his character, he's the muscle. And he's the perpetually angry hothead. But he's got a good reason for it, given what happened to him in the beginning of the movie. He does a good job of portraying his frustration, accentuating where his pain comes from. And his humanity is put on display when the camaraderie among the teammates strengthens. In essence, his strength makes everyone around him stronger. And everyone else around him helps him kind of calm down and realize what's important. So they're all really good, well-rounded characters. I wouldn't say any of these four guys are one-dimensional by any means. There's a lot more to them than the surface level things. John Candy, though, he is fantastic as Irv Blitzer. He's not as comical as he usually is in his other roles, so don't go in expecting that. Instead, he gives the performance of his career, in my opinion, showing a vast array of emotions, delivering a heart-wrenching performance sometimes. Like, it's hard not to watch this and have tears well up in your eyes, especially when he's talking about the Olympics and why it means so much to him and why he wants to help these guys over time. Sadly, however, 5 months after this movie got released, John Candy passed away. So he never really saw the full success of this film or the cultural impact that it had. So may he rest in peace. Can we just get a moment of silence for John Candy, please? Thank you. Now, this wasn't his last movie. A couple of the movies got released after he passed away, but this was the last one that released while he was alive. So that's why this one is, well, kind of stands out in my heart. So Peter Outerbridge plays the rival bobsledder Joseph Gruhl. He's the obnoxious leader of the Swiss bobsled team. And Raymond J. Barry plays Kurt Hemphill, which was Irv's former coach, who joined the Olympic Alliance. Despite being over-the-top one-dimensional characters, they're both deliciously villainous. So as I said, it was directed by John Turteltaub. It was actually filmed in Jamaica and Canada on a budget of $17 million. And it made $154.9 million at the box office. So if you adjust that to inflation, that would be way more today. So this movie was a huge financial success. And although I don't particularly like how bad the fake accents are in this movie, I did a little bit of research. And what I found out is that Turteltaub actually had a huge fight with Walt Disney. More specifically, the chairman, Jeffrey Katzenberg. And Turteltaub wanted them to have more authentic sounding Jamaican accents. But Katzenberg had concerns about the American audience not being able to understand the characters, and he didn't want the movie to have subtitles either. So they actually threatened Turteltaub if he didn't comply, saying that they were going to fire him and get somebody else if they didn't do what he said. So Turteltaub, in many interviews, he said that he informed the cast that if they didn't sound like Sebastian the Crab, then he was going to be fired. So please do it for me. I'm not quoting him directly. He just said something along those lines. But isn't that messed up? This here marks the pivot in the film's production, changing from attempting to authentically depict Jamaican culture to Americanizing it for a broader audience appeal, which has its pros and cons. I particularly don't like how they did that, but I still love this movie. It's not enough to ruin the experience. That being said, the film isn't historically accurate, so I'm judging this as a standalone movie above all else. It's full of fun musical cues. There's a scene where Jerice petitions for the race to get rerun by the committee leader, Barrington Coolidge. And then when he's talking to him, he sees this picture on the wall of Irv. And then he turns his head to look back at Barrington. And then there's a steel drum that cues up. And he kind of smiles as if you can see the light bulb going off in his head. And I love the way that scene is done. It's so good. It's full of little themes like that. The music cues up, and you're like, oh, that's cool. The push start sequence is a classic example of a great montage scene. We see the athletes struggle to learn the sport of bobsledding before progressively getting better in hilarious fashion because they have to kind of adjust to their environment. There's no snow in Jamaica, obviously, no ice, so they have to make do with the hills and the traffic, the animals. It's like, there's a lot of obstacles they have to deal with, and it's pretty funny the way it goes. Basically, they have to practice in this push cart because obviously they can't use a bobsled on the grass. So it's a good montage. I like it. And the way the bobsledding film, I'll say that again. The way the bobsledding is filmed is incredible because of the variety of shots. They use close-ups, they use wide shots. The camera shows the driver's POV, what it's like to actually be in the sled. It shows following the sled behind them. It shows the ins and outs of the turns. It even shows the inside of the bobsled, like the steering mechanisms and the braking mechanisms. It's so much different than watching the Olympics on TV over the years. You're on the track, in the bobsled. It actually kind of reminds me of the way they filmed F1, how you're in the cars, or like Top Gun Maverick, how you're in the jets. It's really cool the way they filmed it. What's most impressive, though, is there's no digital effects in this movie at all. Everything you see is practical. The intense ferocity and rapid editing cuts make these scenes adrenaline-inducing. They're so intense.
Makes you understand more why how much unnecessary.
Yeah, it really makes you understand like the mechanics of what it takes to be a bobsledder. And it shows how dangerous bobsledding can be. Look at that. I also love the wardrobe in this movie. You can see it here. It's so colorful. All the characters wear these vibrant color schemes that make the film visually appealing. The pacing is really good too. Because it introduces each of the characters one at a time. And then the characters get to know each other, and then they learn how to work together. And then it's very good at moving along briskly. Like there's no slow moments. I wouldn't say this is a dull movie at all. Like never a dull moment. All right, I'm just going to check for comments real quick before I continue. No further comments. That's okay. Keep your lucky egg safe. Let's go back to IMDb. Okay, here's the listing. So as I said, the script is written by Lynn Seifert, Tommy Swerdlow, Michael Goldberg. Sorry if I butchered your names. But again, during my research, I learned that several script revisions occurred to punch up the humor. It's been reported that the initial drafts of the script were meant to be way more dramatic than they were funny. The change in tone is another example of trying to appeal to a broader audience, which I usually don't really like, but for this movie it does kind of work. It's complicated. In this film, the bobsled team is characterized very similarly to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just think about it. Derice is Leonardo, Sanka is Michelangelo, Junior would be Donatello, because he's the more intellectual one, and then the hothead, Raphael, is Yule. Think about it. They're all very similar to those characters. I think that's why I like this movie so much, because I grew up watching the Ninja Turtles and I love them, and I always saw that parallel. It was always very funny to me how similar they were. I do love how it's not shy about cheating in the Olympics, and it also touches on racism without being in your face about it. Excuse you. The funny thing is, the rules actually do permit a certain weight limit to be put in front of your bobsled to make it a little bit heavier. So as long as it's within those allowed limits, because of the effects of gravity and momentum, the teams aim to reach the maximum weight to be as competitive as possible. Yeah. So cheating is a problem in the Olympics, but the way they depict it here isn't exactly accurate unless he went over that weight limit. But it doesn't really get into specifics. All we know is that he cheated and he feels bad. And with the racism, there's only a few lines where they touch on it. Like there's a line where Yul says they don't like it when people are different than them. But again, it's not in your face about it. It's not all about racism. So I enjoy the subtlety. You don't have to beat people over the head with stuff like that. Little lines here and there, we get it. The movie also does a great job of establishing the character identity and the goals. It makes the inciting incident more impactful because the three of them here, Darius Jr. and Yulebrenner, they're trying out for a track and field for the Olympics. And because Junior trips on his own feet, he ends up tripping these two guys. And then it's all about that conflict there. And they do a good job of not rushing things. Everything feels earned. They also do a good job establishing the character identity, like I sort of talked about before. So you got Darius' defeat / failure. You have Junior's guilt, and you have Yule's anger. It's felt tremendously because of the writing and the acting. I just think the characters are very well written, and the acting accentuates what was on the page. But at its core, this is your typical underdog sports movie, and it's got every cliche in the book. I'm not kidding. Think about it. You got the misfit team nobody takes seriously, including the hothead, the optimist, the comic relief, the spoiled brat. It's got the disgraced coach seeking redemption. It's got a few training montages. It's got personal tragedy as motivation. You have the evil opponents. You have the disapproving parent. You have playing through your injuries. You have losing your dignity. You have losing with dignity being the real victory. You have the final game. And you have the underdogs winning the crowd over in the final event. Now, I am going to get I am going to talk about spoilers later on, but for the most part, this review is going to be spoiler-free. I am going to warn you when I get into details. But let's just talk about some of the facts. Because like I said, this movie is not historically accurate whatsoever. So take that as you will. The real team did compete in the 1988 Winter Olympics in Calgary, but their story was very different. The coach wasn't a disgraced cheater or a scandal-tainted coach. The real coach was George Fitch. They changed all the names, by the way. But he was an entrepreneur and a U.S. diplomat. And it was his idea to start a Jamaican Bobsled Team. The Jamaicans, who were originally part of the team, were actually part of the military. They weren't sprinters or trying to be athletes in other Olympic sports, but they were athletic. So, who were the real Jamaican Bobsled Team? Well, there was Dudley Stokes. He was an Air Force pilot. He served as the team captain and the driver. So that would be the Therese character, I guess. There was Devon Harris, who was an Army officer. He has a strong athletic background, so I guess that would be the Yulebrenner character. There was Michael White. All I could really find on him was that he had a military background. And then there was Chris Stokes, who also had an Army background. And later, he became the president of the Jamaican Bobsled Federation. So I'm not sure which of these two is supposed to be Sanka, which one's supposed to be Junior. So you can kind of take that interpretation as you will. They're good at defining the characters, but as far as the translation goes, it's hard to tell who's really supposed to be who. I also looked into it because I was curious, and it turns out that pushcart is indeed a popular sport in Jamaica. Originally, they were utilized to deliver goods like produce, bananas, yams, coconuts. They're used for deliveries to shops and markets. They were either pushed by hand, and some of them are motorized. As far as the cultural significance goes, they're a symbol of Jamaica for ingenuity and self-reliance. The pushcart derby is a tradition that extends to the competitive high-speed downhill soapbox-style racing, which takes place in Jamaica and is what inspired the bobsled team to form in the first place, because they were already that was already a popular sport there. But like I said, the other three guys, they weren't athletes that missed their summer Olympic opportunity and then shifted gears over to bobsledding. No, no, no. They were actually recruited through a broader talent search. It wasn't a last minute like backup plan or anything like that. So there was a lot more time that passed than what the movie depicts. That is one thing about the movie. Everything takes place within a very short amount of time. And also, these Swiss villains were invented for drama. There was no like conflict with the Swiss or anything at the time. They actually didn't really face a whole lot of hostility from the other contestants. They were very welcoming to the Jamaicans. They were actually very curious, as opposed to being cruel to them. They wanted to know what they could do and how they got to this point, and like what made them become bobsledders. Like they wanted to know about them. They're very open. But like I said, I do like how it wasn't afraid to touch on the racism without being in your face about it. Because racism does exist. I mean, let's face it. People don't like other people that are different sometimes. And also, they weren't medal contenders like the movie depicts. The film builds an emotional tension that they might get a medal, but in reality, they weren't. It was never really about medals for them, anyways. They just wanted to get to the Olympics, and they did it. The real story is still inspiring, but it was quieter, not as dramatic. The heart of the story, however, about pride, persistence, and earning respect, does reflect the real team. But all the personal backstories and the conflicts were created for cinematic effects. And all the names were changed. In fact, the real team has often been quoted as saying, and I quote, "It wasn't our exact story, but it helped tell a story that mattered," end quote. So they do approve of the film. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about spoilers from here on out. You've been warned. Ready for spoilers? 3, 2, 1. You had your chance. Okay, so at the end of the movie, they end up having this horrible crash. They actually show actual footage, like from the real crash in the movie, because they show people watching the bobsledding on TV. Sorry, I got distracted. Anyways, they actually showed the bobsledding on TV, people watching it from Jamaica, and it's cool because they showed the real footage of those Olympic Games, and it shows the real footage of the crash that happened. They really did crash. But they didn't pick up the sled and carry it over their shoulder to the finish line like they had in the movie. They went to the finish line, but they just pushed it. And then the officials stepped in and they got their medical treatment and stuff like that. So there was no like slow dramatic clap like at the end of the movie. It wasn't cheesy like that. The end of the movie is very cheesy, but I love it. It gets me every time. So the four-man bobsled team flipped during one of the turns because they were going too fast. It wasn't because of mechanical issues. The sled was fine. It was the speed. So in reality, the story is still very inspirational, just not as theatrical. But they were international underdogs that became crowd favorites. The film added many fictional conflicts and characters, according to the actual team members. I watched a few different interviews with them. And also, I'm surprised, Jamaica has never won an Olympic medal in bobsledding to this day. They won medals, just not bobsledding. So I'm still rooting for you, Jamaica. You can do it. Never give up. I love the soundtrack and the original score by Hans Zimmer. It really does a good job of elevating those sports dramatic moments. That's one thing I didn't mention before. The tone of this movie is very good too. While it is funny, it does take time to pause for certain moments. So, overall, this flick goes for the gold, depending on how you look at it. As a biopic, it's wildly historically inaccurate. However, it's great as far as sheer entertainment value. The movie is a time capsule of the 90s. This was my childhood. I watched this movie so many times growing up. I remember seeing it in theaters too as a kid. In between the funny moments, it takes time to breathe for the more serious ones so characters can share connections to bond. Showing the softer sides of them is crucial, establishing those connections, as well as laughing with them. I really believe you got to have both of those so you can connect to characters in films. I like how each of the athletes have flaws, yet they all stick up for each other as the camaraderie forms. Some of them start off as strangers and then they get to know each other over time, too. I especially love the relationship between Junior and Yul Brynner, which is kind of funny. I don't know why they named this character after the actor that plays the King of Siam and the King and I, but hey, whatever. We'll go with it, I guess. If you haven't seen King and I, see it. It's one of the best Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals aside from Sound of Music. Anyways, yeah, this relationship is great. Like, yeah, I like Sanka and Doris, but these two, basically the whole movie, Yul Brynner is a jerk to Junior, no matter how much he tries to make up for it. But as the film goes on, Junior still stands up for Yul Brynner when his dreams get crushed about the Buckingham Palace. And he tells them that if you work hard at it and you know what you want, you'll get your palace, Yul Brynner. I love that quote. And then, kind of in return, Yul Brynner teaches Junior how to stand up for himself. The mirror scene in the bathroom is a beautiful moment, and I've used that to inspire myself too. So I've mentioned a couple quotes. This is one of the most quotable movies I've ever seen. Some of my favorites include the little song they have. Some people say, you know, they can't believe Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. And then I love when Sanka says, how about I draw a line down the middle of your head so it looks like a butt? I can't even say it without laughing. And then, of course, what I said in the intro, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on up, it's bobsled time. Then the mirror scene. This is one of my favorite quotes because I actually used this to inspire myself. I was a swimmer growing up and I played basketball. So to pump myself for like sporting events or to like pump myself up for anything really, I used to say this too. I see pride. I see power. I see a badass mother who don't take no crap off nobody. And then John Candy has a beautiful line when he's talking to Doris about cheating. A gold medal is a wonderful thing, but if you're not enough with it, you'll never be enough. Sorry, I said that wrong. Start over. A gold medal is a beautiful thing, but if you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it. That line's the whole movie right there. That describes everything. Then there's the classic running gag. Stanka, you dead? Yeah, man. And then, of course, hold on, where am I? Here I am. There's kiss my egg. If you didn't get why I had the egg in the beginning of the episode, you do now. Okay, sharing the screen. Back to it. Put myself in the corner.
Just you should carry that egg everywhere.
Yep. And I saw in interviews too, Ducky Doug still has all the rubber prop eggs that he used for the movie. So I thought that was cool. That's pretty awesome. A lot of times actors take stuff from sets, or they're given stuff from sets. So the fact that he still has those eggs just shows how much the movie meant to him personally. Other great lines are, your bones will not break in a bobsled. No, no, no. They shatter. Then there's Joel Brenner. He's always telling people, don't touch me. My friends and I, and my brother, my siblings, we said all these things growing up. That guy's got a great line when he's arguing with Joel Brenner. He goes, what I'm saying to you is that you're the kind of club-toting, raw meat-eating, me Tarzan, Eugening, big bald-headed bubblehead that can only count to 10 if he's barefoot or wearing sandals. And then one last quote. I've always wondered what this says. So I looked it up, like what this meant. Because John Candy does something that he calls the bobsled prayer that he says to the guys. And he goes, Our Father, who art in Calgary, bobsled be thy name. Thy kingdom come, gold medals won, on earth as it is in turn 7, with liberty and justice for Jamaica and Haile Selassie. Amen. So I always wondered, who is Haile Selassie? Why did he mention him? Well, I found out just for you. As it turns out, the divine status of Haile Selassie originates with Jamaican-born and Pan-Africanist leader Marcus Garvey, and he's credited for making the statement that contributed to the perception of Haile Selassie as a divine figure within the Rastafarian movement. Although later in life, ironically, he would kind of see him as a challenger and not a companion. But anyways, Rastafari Makonnen, sorry if I butchered that, was crowned the Emperor of Ethiopia. And as per Ethiopian tradition, his name was changed to Emperor Haile Selassie I, which stands for the might of the Trinity. Garvey's prophecy and Haile Selassie's actions led to many policies that many Rastafarians led to venerate him as being a living god, or Jah in their culture, spelt J-A-H. But he embodied the hope of African redemption for many followers of the Rastafarian faith. So that's why they made a point to mention him in the movie. I thought that was really cool. I'm all about history. So the moral of the story is be yourself and don't forget where you came from. The reason I love this film so much, though, is because it's not about winning. It's about that determination to finish what you started. That's why I find this movie so inspiring. And in a way, it kind of subverts the average sports movie, because you think that they end up winning the gold medal, they'd go the distance, right? No, no, no. There's another lesson to be learned here. And I love that. So if you like movies like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Three Ninjas, which Turtle Top also directed, by the way. Love Three Ninjas. Little Giants, and if you've seen like every other sports movie out there, then I highly recommend this movie. This never gets old, especially on rewatch. No matter how many times I watch this movie, it's laugh out loud funny, and I still find it inspiring. And I still cry at the end every time. I can't help it, especially when they pick up the sled and they take that final stretch, and they look out to the audience and they see the people that have been the rivals. They get their respect, and then Junior's dad, he gets his father's respect, and Irv gets everybody's respect for coaching these people this whole time. Like, it's a beautiful moment. I love this movie. I can't get enough of this film. Where am I? Here I am. So, my official grade for Cool Runnings is an extra large popcorn with an extra lucky egg on the side. Here's the egg. Guess it. Thank you. Did I break it? I really thought I broke it there for a second. Oops.
Yeah, don't be breaking the eggs.
Yeah, I can't afford to lose eggs. Okay, anyways.
Not to mention your girlfriend will kill you. So I don't want to clean up that mess.
Exactly. Okay. So I think that pretty much covers everything. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it. If you have seen it, watch it again. It's on Disney Plus. This is one of those movies that never gets old for me. This was a childhood favorite, and it continues to be a favorite. A lot of times I'll put it on when I'm feeling down. Like, this is the ultimate feel-good movie, in my opinion. Not a perfect movie, depending on how you look at it.
But need to be perfect.
If you don't care about history, then this movie's great. As much as I love history, I do think that not every movie has to be a history lesson. That's part of the reason why I like The Greatest Showman so much. Not great as far as a biopic, but it's entertaining as hell. Same goes for this movie. It's got a lot of comedy. It's got a lot of great dramatic moments. John Candy gives an unprecedentedly great performance here. And Dougie Doug is great as the comic relief. So those two are the highlights of this film. And like I said, my grade, it's an extra large popcorn with an extra lucky egg on the side. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Stay tuned next week for another thrilling episode of Mr. FLIXTER Show. I'm not sure what I'm doing next week yet, but I'll figure it out. And until next time, I will see you next week. I'll see you at the movie. Let's start this over again. And keep watching movies. Go to the theaters. I've been trying to get as much as I can, and I'll have episodes about the movies I've been watching. Don't you worry. Let's make this full screen now. So, until next time. I'll see you at the movies. Have a great day. Did you know that I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com? You can read my reviews on their website, so I'll leave links below for that too. Again, thank you for watching. Have a good night. And remember, Cool Runnings means peace be the journey. Good night.